Hello there and welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who? This time we're going to have a look at the second Doctor story, the sequel to the Abominable Snowmen, The Web of Fear. I hope you enjoy. Episode 3 still exists and was recovered with the other parts. However, during transport back to the UK, it was stolen and sold to a private collector. This was probably because it is the Brigadier's first appearance. Speaking of the Brigadier, this is his first appearance, as well as Unit's first appearance in the show. The tube station set was so realistic that the BBC was accused of illegally filming in the London Underground property. They initially wanted to film there, but it was too expensive to hire out, so they just built their own set. However, as I mentioned, it looked way too realistic. This is the last serial in 35mm, as 16mm would become the norm from this point on. This is the last appearance of the Yetis. However, this was not meant to be the case, as the Yetis were meant to be a recurring enemy, but a dispute between the BBC and Marvin Haseman and Henry Lincoln meant that the Yetis were pulled from Doctor Who, save for a few cameos in The Five Doctors and Dimensions in Time. Patrick Troughton was on holiday during the filming of Part 2, as such the Doctor only appears briefly. The scene in Julius Silverstein's house originally took place in the Natural History Museum, but they were declined permission to film there as well as the London Underground. The script did not give detail to the Yeti. As a result, Martin Bragg simply gave the Yeti a similar design to their previous appearance, only with a slightly updated design, giving them larger eyes and a taller appearance. Nicholas Courtney was originally going to play Captain Knight, with David Langton playing the Brigadier, but the roles were swapped. When Episode 1 was the only one available, Episode 1 and Episode 2 of The Abominable Snowmen were shown in 1990 as the Yeti Rarities, as one whole episode as opposed to two separate stories. The Great Intelligence would not return until The Snowmen, which, as I mentioned previously, is one of the longest absences in Doctor Who. Funnily enough, in The Snowmen, the Great Intelligence mentions a plan to invade the London Underground, as it was a strategic weakness. Ralph Watson, who plays Ben Knight, kept one of the Yeti models after filming. There were pranks on set, but one in particular involved shooting a scene where the Doctor, Jamie and Travers are looking for Victoria. Here, instead of finding Victoria's handkerchief, Fraser Hines picks up a pair of knickers and claims that they're Victoria's, with the Doctor agreeing and acknowledging them to be hers. Jack Waitling then jokingly asked how they knew it was hers, prompting the whole crew to laugh. As it was a sequel to The Abominable Snowmen, many props and even sets were just simply reused. The area this story is set is not officially named, rather it's just stated it was 40 years later from the previous story, The Abominable Snowmen. As such, other material often refers to this in several different years, ranging from 1966, 1968, 1969, 1975 and 1971. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. This is certainly one of the best second Doctor stories, and I absolutely love The Web of Fear. The Yetis are certainly one of the best enemies the Doctor faces, and it's just a shame that they didn't become a recurring enemy because of dispute reasons. Had they become a recurring enemy, their next appearance would have been in another second Doctor story, and then they were planned to appear in a third Doctor story. But sadly, this never became the case. It's a shame that the third part is still missing. I wonder who the scumbag is that stole it, because quite frankly, fuck them. But other than that, this is just a great story, and I'm so glad that it was mostly recovered. The Web of Fear is a fantastic story and one of the best second Doctor stories, and hopefully one day the Abominable Snowmen will be found as well. It's certainly one of the most sought after second Doctor stories, up there with Evil of the Daleks and the Macra Terror, but who knows, a reanimated version would be just as good. That said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.